Welcome back to Terror Takeover, your one stop shop for all things creepy, disgusting, and horrifying. I'm your host, Crow.
And I'm your host, Zoe.
It is just us tonight. No Char. She let me know in advance that she had a bunch of stuff going on this week. So she's just going to be sitting this one out. And we're just going to have a little friendly chat conversation.
It definitely is weird not having Charlotte here.
Right. It's weird. It's like you get in the vibe of like us three kind of just bouncing off of each other.
Right. Because we all just three like have such different energies. Therefore, it's kind of
Hmm.
like we're just all flowing and just the two of us. I guess it's just having like a conversation between two people.
Agreed. And it's funny because we do it all the time,
Yeah, we
but like
do.
I feel like our conversations are so chaotic that it's like okay, well let's have a conversation but not just go so far. Well, fuck it. I mean, you never know, but not just go so far left like we normally would, but
Dude, if the FBI wants to leak our text messages, I will
hey.
I will not op, okay?
You know those memes where it's like when we're at my funeral but somebody like misgenders me or something and then it's like the person sitting up out of the casket.
Oh my
Mine's like
gosh.
I'm at my funeral but like me and Zoe's text messages came up. I'm just
Oh
like,
no.
what?
No.
Oh my god. But anyway, how was your week?
It was pretty good. Like, I started a new job and I really love it so much. And also
Oh, do
working,
you?
I really love my job. Coming from a toxic environment into just a clean slate is such a good feeling. And I really enjoy all the people that I work with. The only thing I'm trying to get acclimated to is doing projects on the side while also working full time. It's such
Oh
an
yeah.
adjustment, but I know I'll get acclimated to it. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Right, right. It's just new for me. It's like my body is like, "What is going on? Why are you not sleeping in bed?"
Yeah, I remember whenever I like jumped right back in and I was like unemployed for like 2 years. Not that you were unemployed, but you were kind of bouncing around, but I was unemployed for like 2 years and when I
Wow.
finally got back into the swing of things, I felt like I was like a crazy person. Like I was like, how do I start just like having a schedule?
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your camping trip this past weekend?
Oh my goodness. I would love to. So, the camping trip, we just went to an area that is one of our roommates' family's camps. And it was me and then, our group of friends. And it was such an experience. Definitely an enlightening experience, just being in the woods, not really knowing where you are, not knowing what's out there. And it's just
Mhm.
us, like all of us just vibing, trying to figure out how to survive. We didn't have
Right.
electricity and we rarely had AC. So it was incredibly, incredibly tough.
Yeah, especially in this Louisiana heat.
Oh, yes. But I did notice being out there, you become quickly used to it.
Oh yeah.
But it was really, really fun. And I'm glad that you asked. How was your week?
That's so much fun. I love that. This week actually was like pretty boring, but very productive. Usually that's how it goes for me. I was like behind. I had 2 episodes to edit, and I was like, okay, this week I'm gonna try to just like get it done, get them both done, and then like, oh, and then I made like, oh my god, I didn't show you, but I made this super cute top. I found this T-shirt at Goodwill, and it was like it's some skate company or whatever, but I was like, this has potential to be like a really cool, like kind of like lace up shirt. So I took it and then I put lace up on like lacing on the sides. I added grommets. So it's like lacing on either sides and then it's like a halter top. Oh my God, it's so cute. I'm gonna have to send it to you. I have a
Are you
picture.
going to wear it tomorrow night?
I'm thinking about it. I'm just worried because yeah, I'm probably gonna wear it. And I got some new shoes today because they were on
Oh.
sale. I have been wanting some like platform heels and I didn't really have like a good pair that was comfortable.
Mhm.
And I'm not really going to go so far as to say that these are super comfortable, but they're really cute. They were on sale for like 30 something bucks. So I was like, I'm going to swipe those and they're like really similar to some extremely expensive pairs that I've been looking at. So I'm like, this is my sign to just get them and move along.
Oh, yeah. That was a mega steal.
Yeah, yeah, it's really not bad.
Love
And it
that.
was like 65% off or
Oh,
something.
wow. Wait,
So
where did you go?
Dillard's, honestly,
Oh,
Dillard's has been having some decent, I know,
there you go.
Dillard's has been having some decent stuff lately though, as far as shoes.
Oh, no, I agree 100%.
Yeah, but they always have like their sales and stuff. So So last week we talked about our favorite Final Girls. I know that was kind of an episode in which I was gabbing the whole time, but I had a lot of fun. I love that topic, and I feel like we covered so much ground and it was very structured. This week we're going to be doing something a little bit more casual. We are going to be talking about childhood horrors. So
Ooh.
that's shows that we watched when we were kids. It was kind of like our introduction to horror before we started watching big boy horror, if that makes any sense. So this week, we're just looking forward to just having a super chill discussion about it and just relaxing. I was kind of thinking about as kids, like, what is it that makes kids naturally susceptible to horror? Because I honestly feel like kids love scary stuff. I mean, not necessarily to the extent of like jump scares and like really dramatic, like really terrifying stuff constantly,
Right.
but most kids are really drawn to some sort of horror, even if it's like a very diet kind of form of horror. Like my
Mhm.
niece and nephew are obsessed with those, like, well, they're older now, but when they were younger, they used to just watch Five Nights at Freddy's videos on
Oh
YouTube
my
all day
gosh.
long.
I remember that era. Everyone was watching that on their little iPad, and I'm like, "What are
Yes,
y'all doing?"
it was the time for iPad kids for sure, but yeah, for whatever reason, kids love stuff like that. It's the Five Nights at Freddy's, it's they have a new one called, oh my god, oh, Poppy Playtime or something? Wait, yeah, Poppy Playtime, that's what it's called. And it's like, okay, like obviously kids have something going on where they're constantly being marketed toward as,
Mhm.
with horror. And I started thinking, okay, well, so from an early age, kids are introduced to similar concepts as the ones in horror. And I would say, like, if you think about fairy tales, stuff like that, they usually have some deeper, darker meaning,
Oh,
especially if
yes.
you think about, for example, like the original Little Mermaid story. I don't know if you're familiar with like how it originally was prior to like the Disney version of it. Basically, I think it's by Hans Christian Andersen, right? But
Uh-huh.
the story is pretty similar. She's a mermaid. She falls in love with the prince on land and she wants to be with him. So actually at the end of the story, and I didn't even cross my references. This is just what I remember, so I could be totally wrong. But she like cuts her tail in half to try to make legs so that she can be with him, and obviously it doesn't work, and she just dies.
Whoa.
She like bleeds out. It's really sad, but it's like, yeah, kids are no strangers to like, I would say, like darker, more subversive kind of things.
Right.
And I also think that it's super important for kids to kind of like learn these lessons
Mhm.
that you can learn from the subversiveness in horror, because in a way it's like, yeah, maybe they'll be like scared straight and learn a lesson that way. I don't know. Maybe that's like wrong and immoral, but that's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah, no, for sure. I actually, when you were telling the story of the Little Mermaid one, I did hear about that. And I'm just like, man, like it does have a deep, dark meaning, but at the same time, it's also like an emotional, mental thing. Like she tried to change herself for another person.
Yeah.
It's like she tried to change herself for another person. And I think there's also something to take from that, you know?
Right. Well, actually, so supposedly the idea behind it was Hans Christian Andersen was actually gay, but nobody really knew. Like, I don't know if he was really out about it yet, but especially at that time, nobody really was just outwardly gay. And I think that it was some story about how he was in love with another
Hmm.
man and wrote this story about like basically a metaphor for his own situation, which I think is an incredible metaphor. It's just really dark and sad. So, what exactly makes horror that's made for kids, basically? What makes it different from horror made for adults, in your opinion, other than obviously just not being outright super gory and outright obviously
Right.
dramatic and scary?
I think that's at the age where they just have this like broad like realization of them just being curious. And I feel like when
Mhm.
you're curious as a child, you dwell into things.
I think the things that make it different is usually if you notice in horror that's made for or marketed toward children, it's almost always like a horror comedy,
Uh-huh.
just because kids, for whatever reason, are the best little audience for a
They really
comedy. Children
are.
love comedy, they love things that are funny, and honestly, it doesn't take much. Kids will laugh at just about anything. So I think that the point of the comedy is to kind of lighten the mood a little bit and also to keep their attention
Mhm.
a little bit more. I would also say that, like, this one's a little bit obvious, but nobody really dies in like horror made for kids,
Right.
and no one really suffers like life altering injuries or anything like that. All of the, I guess, trauma that happens in kids' shows and like horror movies and stuff like that is all just like
Mhm.
psychological, which is still very real, but it's maybe a little bit easier for kids to be able to wrap their minds around. And then also, a lot of the time, it's usually saved for like Halloween. So, a lot of like horror movies made for kids usually have to deal with Halloween. But there are a lot of shows actually that are just standalone, which I think is really
Right.
cool. So that's what we're going to get into. One of our favorites that we were talking about is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Ooh.
I know that means that we were both looking a lot into
Oh,
this one,
man.
and I am sad that now, like thinking about it, it's probably been years since I've seen an
Mhm. I know
episode.
rewatching it, I got this feeling of not quite childhood nostalgia, like if I were to watch it as a child, but watching it as an adult,
Hmm.
I'm just like, man, this is so sad.
Sad.
It's like so sad, but it's also
It is depressing.
I feel like as an adult you just process it a lot more and you kind of understand like what's going on. I honestly feel like it could definitely pass for just like an adult cartoon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the only thing probably is like some low-hanging jokes, like some of them that are just a
Right.
little bit corny, but other than that, the ideas and like the messages behind each episode are pretty profound, really. We were talking about that episode, I think it was called Perfect. Is that what it was called?
Mhm.
But, like, the whole idea behind that episode was, like, Courage was, like, coming to terms with, like, some low self-esteem issues, and it's, like,
Aw.
so I mean, I'm laughing, but, like, I'm not that's not, a funny thing. It's actually, really incredible that that's something that's being talked about in a kids show.
Oh yeah.
Kids shows will always say, "Oh, there's only one you and be yourself." But what does that really even mean? Like, we never really knew ever what that meant at any point in our lives. But like, I just thought that this was such a profound and special episode that kind of helps children relate within themselves to what Courage is going through. I think that's really special.
Right. I think it is special that they do certain episodes like that because, in all reality, this is what we deal with on a daily basis. Don't tell your children, that life is perfect and you're perfect and like everything's good. Like, no, we're going to go through mental health things.
Trials.
Right. We're going to go through trials. Exactly. You put it perfectly. We're going to go through trials in our life. And the fact that that show taught us, like, what we could possibly go through is something that the school systems never taught or like our parents
Right.
never taught us
It's also just another way of just being like, this is normal. It's normal for this to happen and it happens to other people and you're not like weird or wrong for feeling that way. And I think that's really special and I love that about it. But I will say that a lot of Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes actually, a lot of them did have meanings behind them. Probably most of them, but there were some that were also just kind of like crazy, right? So one of my
Mhm.
very favorite ones, and I know that this is one that a lot of people always refer back to, but it's the one that's King Ramses' curse.
I love that one.
Oh my gosh. So this one is so spooky. Basically what happens is Courage finds this like ancient Egyptian slab and Eustace finds out that it's like worth a lot of money and he doesn't want to give it back to King Ramses without payment. Eustace is such a fucking dirty old bastard. But anyway, so King Ramses just puts the plagues on him, curses them of biblical proportion. It's so crazy to me that this
Ah.
is honestly like a really like if you think about it, this is a really wild and far out episode idea for children to watch.
Mhm.
I also really liked they have well, this is actually the first episode, but A Night at the Cat's Motel. Do you remember that one?
Ooh, is it the one with the Siamese cats?
So this is the one I don't remember that, but this is the one where Muriel and Eustace go to stay in the hotel put on by Katz, who was Courage's rival because he's a cat, which is just so cute. But and Katz tells them, "Oh, we have a strictly no dog policy, so Courage has to sleep outside." But like the whole time, they're basically just being terrorized by giant spiders.
Oh wait, I do remember this one. You're like unlocking
Yeah.
a memory in my head.
Yeah, it's a lot of memorable
Oh
visuals.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's pretty wild. Also, I like that one, The Mask, just because it's like
The
so
Mask.
unsettling. So that's the one we were talking about the other day, where someone shows up on the farm. It's like the person named Kitty
Oh,
and the yes,
yes,
and like the white cloak and the
Kitty.
white mask, and they're just like dogs are bad and just like beat the shit out of Courage all the time. That one was so upsetting because you really
It
grow like
was.
fond of Courage throughout the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it at the end like she's a rabbit or something? Because
Hmm.
I thought at the end she like falls in love with the cat guy, doesn't
Oh,
she?
she does, and she finds her peace.
Yeah, so
She does. She
cute.
was just
Oh
misunderstood.
yeah, she was doing the most though.
For sure. I've been there. I've
Yeah,
been
we've
there.
all been there. What were some of your favorite episodes?
Oh my gosh, you already know.
Oh shit.
My favorite one was the one that I was talking about with you and Charlotte is the freaky Fred one. Did you have a chance to watch that one?
Wait, is that the barber one?
Yes.
Yeah, so I do whenever I saw the screenshots from it, I was like, "Okay, I remember this episode now." It was like I had to see his face, that fucking smile.
Oh, oh my goodness. I mean, it's one of my favorites, and it really stuck out to me because just like the eerie silence that just hangs in the air and just
Ooh.
like, just unsettling imagery. And it's like forever engraved in my brain, honestly.
Right.
The episode is basically about a sadistic hairdresser. He has this certain itch for shearing more than just hair, and like
Oh my god.
it's actually Courage's cousin, which is also kind of odd, but he basically like finds himself at the mercy of him, and he just has an unsettling passion for barbering.
Right.
But he has like this infamous line where he's like naughty. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." But if you really really watch the episode, it's not only about it being so creepy and just eerie. What he's saying is like so
I'm
poetic.
gonna go back and watch it again.
You should. And honestly, like he sets the stage for like a hair-raising just tale in general that will definitely leave you contemplating your next trip to the salon because girl, I was scared. I was scared.
Yeah, for
But that
sure.
was one of my favorites for sure.
That's the thing. It's funny whenever you were like, he's Courage's cousin, like weirdly enough, but that's like such a Courage the Cowardly Dog
Oh my
thing.
gosh,
Is like they're
yes.
always like, oh, this is your long lost cousin or your long lost son or whatever it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, well, that's just such a that's like exactly what I'm talking about with like the whole like
Oh yeah.
it has to have some light comedic undertone to it for whatever reason. Like, just what the fuck? Like, just random ass details that are just like don't make any sense. But hey, listeners, we have another trivia question for you. What breed of dog is Scooby Doo modeled after? A. A Great Dane, B. A boxer, or C. A bloodhound? Stay tuned to hear the answer. Oh my god, what the fuck?
What the fuck just
Okay.
happened? Are you
Okay.
what the
Okay,
talk about
that was
fucking
so
timing?
weird. So I don't even know where we were or what happened, but both of our power just went out at the same time, and we don't live near each other.
No, that's
Because I was thinking, I was like, shit, I'm an asshole. And then I looked and you said my power went out, and I was like, wait, no, my power went out. And I was like, what the hell? Okay, anyway.
anyways.
Moving on, let's talk about Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
So, Goosebumps was super fun because it was a book series and also a live action TV series. And actually, Goosebumps is
Mhm.
super near and dear to my heart because when I was a kid, I had this toy box and it was literally just full to the top of Goosebumps books. So, every time me and my family would like go somewhere, like even if it was just to Walmart, like when I would get in the car, I would grab a Goosebumps book and I would start it. When I was a kid, I would fucking go through books like nothing. I would finish like a book every 2 days. It was crazy.
Oh man, I absolutely loved the Goosebumps TV
Mm-hmm.
show for sure. I did have the books. I always would check them out at our school's library, and I would like read through them as unfortunate is to say, as a child, I was not a big reader. Like, I liked watching the
Hey, no
show
shame.
or like the movies. So,
The thing about Goosebumps is it was like one of those things where it was like a horror anthology. So each
mhm.
episode like of the TV series was based off of the book, but each book was like completely different. They had some books that were like went in series, like I think Welcome to Horrorland had like a Welcome to Horrorland 2 and like maybe 3 or something. But for the most part they were standalone, which was nice because especially being like a person who has a pretty like short attention span, like it's hard for me to keep up with the same thing over and over. But I loved the Goosebumps books. And actually, for the Living Doll episode we did, I like reread a Goosebumps book that I used to have when I was a kid. And it actually like still reads decently. Like, I'm not going to go as an adult and like just read a bunch of Goosebumps books, but it actually really wasn't just like some dumb kids book. It was solid.
Right. It was phenomenal. I mean, I encourage a lot of people to like revisit the series, whether it's the book or the show, because it really bases on like the joy and fear that like childhood storytelling can bring.
Yeah.
It's not your typical childhood book.
I agree for sure. I think that they're also not afraid to kind of touch on some like tricky and like kind of spooky subjects, and that's what I like about it. And I definitely had some favorites. Oh, you know what I really liked?
What?
They had these ones that were called like Reader Beware You're In for a Scare. And the ones
Mhm.
that had that like stamp on the front were so cool because they were the kind where you would read a page and then it would ask you to make a decision. And so like you had
Uh-huh.
to choose. Yes, you had to choose between like 3 decisions, and then whatever one you chose, it would take you to like a different page. And then there were some I would literally write down the page numbers where I made certain decisions because you would eventually get to a point where you would just be fucked. Like you would like screw yourself over and basically like your story would be done. And so like I would try to always go back to where I made the wrong decision and like continue from there. But sometimes it would be several decisions deep because then it's just like, oh, I'm just lost. I'm just screwed. I have to start the book over. But those were really, really cool.
I really need to find those books as soon as possible because for some reason I am so intrigued. I've just always really loved stuff like that, especially like
Yeah.
video games when you have to make decisions. I love those
Yes.
kinds of
I
games.
hate it.
I'm not too sure what they're called, but maybe you can enlighten
Yeah.
me.
I'm not sure, but that was also like Bandersnatch was kind of like that
Mhm.
too. That like what was that on Netflix? That
Oh,
it was Black Mirror, right?
yes.
It was a Black Mirror
Yes.
episode, but you had to like make the decisions in the episode and that like affected what happened in it.
Me and Thorn tried to do that on the TV and
Ugh,
it
I'm
wouldn't work on
trash.
our TV and I'm so upset because I
No.
love that stuff.
I literally made every single wrong decision. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I had to stop.
Right.
Literally, I got like 10 minutes in and fucked up every single time. I was like,
Oh.
okay, I guess I'm just not meant to do this. So I just moved along.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, they had a bunch of really, really cool ones. One of my favorite ones I already talked about in a previous episode, Night of the Living Dummy, just because I've always liked the idea of living dolls. Like that was always a favorite of mine when I was a kid. Say Cheese and Die was like one of the coolest ones and
Oh, yes.
also one of the coolest book covers too.
I definitely agree. I really love that episode in particular.
Yeah, so basically in that one what happens is like this guy or this this grown man, this
This girl.
child gets this camera and when he takes pictures it like predicts bad things happening basically in the pictures. So at one point he takes a picture of his family and they're all like skeletons and like that's the cover of the book. And I just think it's so cool.
I really did like that one as well. I mean, we were talking about it on the chat, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Did you guys know Ryan Gosling was in that episode?"
Oh, was that the episode? Oh
Yes.
my god, was he the kid? Like the main kid?
Yeah, he was like the one with like the short blonde hair.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to I need to watch
Oh
it.
my,
I didn't realize that was the one. You did tell us that.
he was so young. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, he actually did a lot, like, as a child actor. Like, wasn't he also in the Barney Shed or whatever?
I realized that. After watching that episode, it kind of remind me of how long he's been acting for.
Oh, yeah, a long time.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Another one that was good, I remember this one was The Girl Who Cried
Oh,
Monster.
I like that one.
That was like one where it was this girl. It's such a classic Goosebumps story, but it was where she was like always trying to scare people and like tell them that like there were monsters and shit. And then eventually, of course, she comes across a real monster and nobody believes her. That one was kind of cool. I don't know if they made a live action episode for that one, but that was one of the books that I had. My favorite one was One Day at Horrorland. Horrorland. That was like my favorite one. I don't know why. I just love a spooky carnival, but it's about this
Hmm.
family and they're on their way to like some boring theme park or whatever. And they end up getting lost and they end up at Horrorland. And it's just like all the like little carnival rides are just evil. I don't know. It's just funny and cute. I love that idea.
I don't know, me? I would enjoy going to Horrorland.
Hell yeah. Me personally.
I mean,
Yeah.
as a child, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I would be all about it.
Hell yeah. That sounds so fun. Well, basically, I mean, is that not just like what's
Life.
the like Universal Studios shit that they have around Halloween?
Oh,
I want to go to
you're
that so
right. I want
bad.
to go as well. They also do like the little mazes and stuff, and you have like the
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses one, like just stuff like that.
I just heard it's like really expensive. I mean,
Oh, I
Universal
bet.
Studios, you know.
I
But we should like make
bet.
a trip of it one time. I feel like that'd be really fun to
Yeah, maybe
do.
we can create like a little like savings thing for that trip.
Yeah. Halloween Horror Nights, is that it?
Mm.
Something like that? I don't know. But anyway, it sounds really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So another show that was actually kind of similar to Goosebumps is Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm.
And I'm going to admit, I like watched that yesterday the entire day. Like I put it on and it's like a children's show. Like some of the stories are like pretty much just cut and dry like, "Oh, this is the moral. This is what you're supposed to take from it." But actually, it's like a solid, well done show. So that one's a live action TV series similar to Goosebumps, and it's similar, like it's kind of like an anthology because each episode is a different story that's being told. But the idea behind that one is like some group of kids every night or once a week or whatever get together around a campfire, and one of them tells a scary story. And the scary story is like what the episode is. But I was watching it and there was actually a super far out ass episode. It was called The Tale of the 13th Floor. And it
Mm.
was this girl who, like, it was so weird. It was like she got sucked in to like her TV or something. And somehow, I don't know, I was like, kind of like in and out, not like super paying attention to it. But anyway, at the end, she like gets out and then the lady pops back up on the TV and she said, "Hey, we left you here," or whatever. And she's like, "No, I'm supposed to be here. This is like my life or whatever." And they're like, "No, we left you here a month ago or something. Like you were supposed to be
What?
with us, but we accidentally left you like on Earth or some shit."
Okay.
And then at the end, they both morph into like these crazy looking alien creatures. Like
Oh,
the girl was an
wow.
alien all along. I was like, what the fuck is happening? But it was honestly, if I still smoked, like I would have to pull that shit up and watch that for real. That show,
Oh
that one
my
was, I'm
gosh.
gonna send that one to y'all. That was just so far out and
I
crazy.
think you should. I would love to see that one.
Yeah. Did you watch that one growing up or no?
I did watch that one. That's that episode though. It doesn't sound too familiar,
Oh, it's so
so I'm gonna have
random.
to like touch on that again. But it sounds so intriguing, and I'm gonna watch it.
It's actually
Literally,
really crazy. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but they've got some good ones. They had another one where like this
Mm.
kid was being chased by like this like clown dummy from the carnival. Of course, there's always a carnival episode of like every kid show or every, kids horror show. And then what else did I say? Oh, there was one with like some like kids worked in a movie theater and there was like a vampire from one of the movies got out and was chasing them around. I don't know. It was just actually decently well done. Another one that we could not have done this episode without talking about fucking Scooby Doo, bitch.
Scooby
Scooby
Doo.
fucking Doo.
Love Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo also, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but Scooby Doo goes far back as like 1969,
Oh
actually.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like forever back. But the cool thing about it is, like, even when we were like younger, they
Hmm.
still played the old one on like the regular cartoon channels because it
Oh
was that well
yes.
received. It's also kind of like timeless. Like the idea behind the show is pretty timeless. That show was just so, so popular that they ended up having like a million and one spinoffs basically. So
Hmm.
they have Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo from 1979, a pup named Scooby Doo, which was like one of my favorites when I was a kid. I watched that show a lot because it used to come on Boomerang a lot. in that one, that it's just like the mystery gang, but everybody's like a kid, and Scooby Doo's a puppy. It's so cute.
Mm,
They have What's New Scooby Doo 2002. So that's like the one that would have been like current when we were kids. So I'm pretty sure
right.
that's the one with like the Hex Girls and stuff, which obviously
Oh,
we've been influenced by.
Hex girls, and I'm gonna put a
Yes.
spell on
Dude, we
you.
should so dress up as the Hex Girls for a photo shoot. You, me, and
Okay, that would be
Char.
pretty sick. That would be pretty
So
sick.
sick, right?
Oh my gosh.
And then they had Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated in 2010. They had some other ones too, of course. But
Mhm.
also, we have to mention the live action films, of course. We love the live action films, especially the first one. Also, like some big horror names in that one. Obviously, Matthew Lillard. I know you're a
Oh,
huge Matthew Lillard
I
person.
love Matthew Lillard.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy, of
Yes.
course, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. and Linda Cardellini were all in that
Mhm.
one. And actually, I didn't know this until I looked it up the other day, but Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, actually played the voice of Scooby Doo. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Wait,
Isn't that crazy?
I'm trying to hear it in my
I
head.
know. I'm like thinking
Wait,
of it
what?
too. Yeah. We'll have to go back and listen to it again, but like that's kind of like random, right? I mean, who could have done a better job though?
I might be I don't think I'm mistaken, but it is true that Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar are actually married, right?
Are they? Look it up right now.
I think they are. Wait.
Yes, you're right. Oh,
That is so crazy.
I really, really hope that they met on the Scooby Doo set because
I
that would
do
be so
too.
cute.
Aww.
Oh my god, that's
Gosh, that's
amazing. I
great.
love that for them. I'm so happy you told me that.
See, you can date in the Hollywood industry. I'm sure it's really complicated.
Oh, probably. The other thing that I love, this is like totally unrelated, but like Bill and Sookie from True Blood are married in real life. I think that's
Oh
really
my
cute.
gosh,
Although I
stop it.
fucking hate Bill in the show, but anyway.
Yeah, no, he's an asshole in the
He's a
show.
piece of shit.
Tool bag.
But yeah, I think, Scooby Doo also has the classic Who's Under the Mask thing that I would go so far as to say a lot of other shows kind of were influenced by that. I don't think there's like a lot of subversiveness or really morals of the story in the Scooby Doo universe. I think it's more so just like a mystery. Like, we just need to figure out who he is, who's under the mask. It's just fun visuals. The characters are stylish and there's like ample comedy throughout. So I think that that's what makes it so successful.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's another one of those things where each person in the mystery gang like had their own unique personality, and so like everybody had their favorite.
Which one was your favorite?
I don't know. You're gonna think I'm so weird for this, but I actually I don't even want to say
Are
it.
you No, say it.
I actually really liked Fred.
Fred was cool. No, Fred's
I don't
cool.
know. Fred's not cool. I liked
Fred's
Velma as
cool.
well. Fred and Velma were my favorite because I feel like they were both like the most. I don't know, like they had their shit together the most, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I really like Daphne a lot, of course.
Right. Yeah, we love her though. She's funny.
Straight Daphne.
Yeah, Daphne vibes.
She's always getting into some shit she ain't supposed to be getting into.
She was. And you know what? Daphne was a boss bitch though, because she
She
would take matters
was.
into her own hands on
Mm-hmm.
numerous occasions. And she was
Yes.
always dressed to impress. I love in all the little spin offs, like all the different little outfits she gets. So
I
cute.
know.
Have you ever met a Daphne in real life?
Okay, no.
I was like,
I had to think
that's.
about it for a second.
Yeah, I don't think
What
so.
do you think about the newer Scooby Doo that they're trying to do?
The newer one? Oh, you know what? I didn't like watch it or anything, but I did hear that Velma is canonically lesbian, and I love that.
Love.
Love that. I think that's so, so wonderful and progressive.
I think after Spooky Island, we were just all awakened.
Yeah. So
That orange
true. We'll
jumpsuit
never
was just
forget. It was the red
iconic.
jumpsuit. Wait, was it red or orange?
Wait, was it red or orange? Let's look this up real quick.
That was another one of those memes that was like when I'm at my funeral, but but Velma shows up in the red
In the
jumpsuit.
jumpsuit.
Yeah.
No.
So cute. We
It
loved
was the
it.
red jumpsuit. You're right.
So good. Yeah, it definitely awakened something in all of us. Did you ever watch that show, Our Real Monsters, when you were a kid?
Are monsters?
That was one of those, like, Ren and Stimpy types, or it was kind of like a, Pinky and the Brain, like, one of those, like,
Oh,
weird, like,
yes,
dark
yes,
vibes.
yes.
Yeah, that show was just so I just remember being just, like, gross, but it follows, like, 3 monsters who are at a school that's supposed to teach you how to, like, scare humans, and so, like, the plot for the show, for the most part, is just them scaring humans, but, I thought the visuals in that one was really, really cool. But one of my favorites was the teacher from the Black Lagoons books. I don't know if you ever read those when you were a kid, but every time I tried to get them at the school library, they were always checked out. They were always checked out, and it drove me
Aw.
crazy.
That's why you gotta get to the school early in the morning, get in that library, don't let nobody else get in there.
That's exactly right. Those books were so, so cute. It was basically just like some kid would like imagine his teacher was this horrible monster and then he would just describe the things that she would do. And then at
Oh,
the end, it's
wow.
always like, oh, she was actually pretty nice. Oh, she gave me a sticker. Oh, like it's not so bad. But also, I think it's another one of those books where it's like pretty subversive as far as like, hey, like things aren't always what they seem and maybe you shouldn't judge a book by its cover or whatever kind of thing. So I like that there's kind of like a moral behind that too. Of course, there are also like a bunch of horror movies that are geared toward kids. So, of course, we have to talk about Coraline. I know we're both big fans of this one.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yes, yes, yes. I was a little bit older for this one. So I was around like I think 13 or 14 when this one came
Mhm.
out. I rewatch it regularly. Me and Kai just watched it again like a month ago and it's just so good every single time. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous visuals. If you've never seen that movie, basically Coraline teleports to an alternate dimension through a small door that's like it pops up in her living room and in the alternate dimension it's just like her life but it's just slightly different and at first it seems like it's really good like her mom is really nice to her and her dad is really cool but she learns lessons along the way
Right.
as usual things are not what they seem.
No, that one was definitely a good one for sure. I honestly enjoy it, like, as an adult.
Hell yeah.
It's such a good movie, and they put so I know they put so much time and effort. I just watched, like, when I had the DVD, I would watch the special features all the time. Every DVD I've ever owned, I would go on the special features because
Yes.
you know there was some good shit on there, dude.
Yes.
So I go on the special features, and it was just like a behind the scenes of like how they made the movie, and it was just all like clay,
That's so cool.
which blows my mind. That must have taken so much time, and I just want
Oh,
to
can
give
you
so much
imagine?
appreciation because oh my goodness.
Beautiful movie and it's actually like really scary like some parts are super creepy.
It is.
Yeah, like Other Mother when she turns into the bug thing. What the
Mm-mm.
fuck?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so
Mm-mm.
good.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Love that movie. Love, love, love. We were talking a little bit earlier about Monster House. Monster House is that
Mm.
bitch for real. That movie is so good.
I wonder how that one was made as well. It kind of looks.
So I looked it up a little bit. It was made in the same way as oh fuck, what was it? Oh, the Polar Express. So it's like the same edit like this. Oh, okay. It's
Oh.
human characters being animated using live action motion capture animation.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like that mocap shit, right? But anyway, yeah, so it's the same as the Polar Express, which also was like had some really cool like I know it's a kids movie, but it had some really cool like graphics and shit. It was just different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Monster House is the shit. Love, love, love it. Actually, I'm looking at this movie poster. It came out July 21st. So this one didn't even come out during Halloween. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a Halloween movie because the premise of the movie is that the house terrorizes the neighborhood during Halloween. But July 21st, that means that we have to watch it on July 21st. So,
I really enjoy the backstory to it. You know how his wife was in the carnival and
mhm.
basically everyone was just making fun of her and like she wasn't really accepted. Therefore, he found her and he just accepted her as she was. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
she died and he basically like turned the house into her. It was like
Yeah.
it was so weird. Like the ideas that these creators just come up with is just out of the
That's
box.
such a good
Do you
movie.
remember DJ and Z?
Yeah, those are like the annoying ass kids.
No, those are wait, are those the names of like the typical teenage babysitter and her boyfriend comes over and
Oh.
he's an asshole?
Oh, yeah, Z was the Oh, it was Maggie Gyllenhaal actually who played Z.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Skull, was it Skull?
It was something crazy like that.
Because they had Bones, Skull,
Go.
Z,
Oh wait, what was
Jenny Chowder,
it was
DJ,
Bones. It was
Bones.
Bones. And
Fucking
Jason Lee
Bones.
voiced Bones.
I love Jason Lee.
Dude, Bones was actually like every guy we've ever met ever. We've
Yeah.
we've all met a Bones.
Oh my god. Wait, why are I feel like I'm Bones. I feel like I am a Bones. Oh
Oh my
my
gosh.
god.
We got to
Yeah,
rewatch
I
that.
love them. Oh my god. Yeah, definitely. Wait, let's watch it July 21st. That's when it
July
came out, I think.
21st.
So cute. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm looking at these pictures and they're just so disturbing. This is so funny to me. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that like ASAP. I might watch it tomorrow, actually. I don't know if I can wait. How about Hocus Pocus? We had to
Hocus
talk about Hocus
Pocus.
Pocus. So that was another one that was like more of a Halloween movie, but a total staple. Love, love, love it. In the town of Salem, it's like three witches are reawakened and then they just like fuck up the whole city basically. I really like the scene in that movie in which the parents are all like at that like club party thing and they're just like
Mhm.
dancing and they just can't stop dancing.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's so sick. Like the mom was slaying in her Madonna costume.
Not the Madonna. That was so
Yes.
iconic. That scene was so iconic.
Oh my god, she was slaying and they were just dancing and dancing. That sounds so fun. Honestly, I think a night like that would heal me. Like, can someone put me under a spell to dance for like 3 nights straight?
Oh man, we would have the time of our lives.
Hell yeah. It feels like that sometimes when you're in the club. It's like somebody put a spell on me because I can't stop dancing.
Yeah, we
Love that
really love
movie.
to dance. Every time we go to the club, we're just always dancing.
Oh, yeah, we like to shake it. We like to shake it. And then, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh, a classic.
Yeah, total classic. Another one of those like what do you call it? Stop motion movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I assume it is. Really, really cool. It's still I know that they always have like the stereotype behind people that like Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think it's a really cool movie. I'm not going to go out wearing Jack Skellington pajama pants or anything, but I think that it's a really cool movie and it's cute and I love Sally.
I'm like chuckling on the inside because when you said that, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I own Jack Skellington
Do
pajama
you really?
pants.
Do you
Ew.
really? I'm
Oh
screaming.
my gosh. But no, that movie is so, so well done. And when they also do like the live action, sometimes when they go on tour, they do like the whole live
What?
action thing.
How
And
does
it's
that
just,
work?
it's so good. I wonder how that works.
Hey guys, we're back with the answer to the trivia question from earlier. If you answered A, Great Dane, you're correct. Yeah, so guys, I hope you didn't mind. This was a little bit more of a casual episode. We didn't want to really, really deep dive on anything. We kind of just wanted to talk about what we felt without having to do like this big presentation for you guys and just maybe, have a little bit more relaxed of a night. So, thank you guys so much for listening. What was your favorite childhood horror? Please let us know, and we will see you next time.
See you
Bye.
guys later. Is there a story, film, or topic you want us to discuss in an upcoming episode? Email your suggestions to terrortakeoverpod@gmail.com. Intro music by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio.